I'm Dushanov Virgebulan from Kazorda town, South Kazakhstan. On the 12th of January 2022, around 10:30 morning, 4 policemen stormed into my place without explaining anything. They handcuffed me and started pulling me towards their car. My father tried to interfere them, asking what's going on, why they were arresting him. They pushed my father away and told him to stay quiet, otherwise they would take him away too. They took me to the police station and to the 4th floor. There were several policemen and started questioning me about some unknown schemes and some money involved in that scheme. I had no idea what that scheme was. They were asking me, where is the money? Who gave you the money? Who transferred you the money? How did they transfer? When did you receive the money? I said I didn't receive any money. I kept asking, can you please explain what scheme are you talking about? Then they started beating me. They continued asking who planned, who made the scheme. As they continued asking, they continued beating on my head. They made me lean forward and jumped on me, kicked me continuously. They told me that I should admit that a person called Bedilbayev Adilkhan made a scheme and another person called Birjanov Gavit received the scheme. They told me that I had spoken with them and that I had that the scheme agreed by all of them when they met. I didn't understand what the scheme was. Still, I was in shock and started asking, and they, in response, kept beating me mercilessly. They put me on the floor, kicked me all over, also jumped on me. There were about 7-8 policemen. Among them was Süleymanov Azamat, Shingiz, Alimbayev Alimjan, and other policemen. I don't know the others' names, but I remembered their faces. They kept telling me that I should admit and give evidence about the scheme. I kept telling them that I really didn't know about any such scheme. I hadn't seen any such money. They continued beating, kicking and jumping all over me, and then they also said that if I continued denying, they would bring my father and they would do the same together with my father in the same place. I asked them to explain still what they are talking about. They were talking about. They said Virgebulan is at the moment sighing and he's having difficulty even to speak because he's in pain. They said that I give a witness statement as mentioned above against the 2 people, Bedilbayev Adilkhan and Birjanov Gavit, that I went to see them and I had spoken with them and I had agreed the plan, the scheme. They told me to repeat all these as they stated. I refused to do so. And then they proceeded to beating again and kicking all over. They tried to humiliate me at that point and made me to pull down my trousers and told me that they would stick a button into my backside. Then they said they would film it, they would video it and upload it onto social platforms where everyone would see him, and that he had an option to admit everything before that happens. I was still in shock, and I still kept begging them to explain all of this, because I really had no idea. I couldn't possibly admit any of these. So I was exhausted, and all of this happened from 10:30 in the morning till about 8 past in the evening. They wrote everything and told me to read it. When I couldn't read it to the quality they expected, they took me downstairs to the basement and started beating me again. And I was lying, rolling on the floor from pain. Then they told me that I read what they have written properly, and if you don't do so, you'll be shot by snipers. There are snipers on top of the building. Later, for the investigators will just say that you attempted to escape, to run away, and snipers shot him. So you'll be finished. So I had no option. I understood I had no other option but make this false statement against those two individuals. Then they said they would take me to one place, and I made the statement, and I was taken to some flat and stayed there from the 12th of January till the 29th of January. I was sick for 4 days at the beginning. I couldn't lift myself. My urine and stool was coming with lots of blood. I knew some of my internal organs were bleeding. Even a couple of spoons of food made me sick. I would throw it out everywhere, everywhere inside and outside me, aching. On the 29th of January, I was at my wit's end, and I told the police that I would kill myself, I would hang myself. I can't tolerate anymore. I don't want to live anymore. He called his bosses, the policemen, and informed them what I told them. They said, okay, they can take me home, but they also warned me that if I tell any of these, what happened at the police station, to his family members, and also if he decides to refuse to witness the witness statement he had made, he would be punished even worse. He'll be punished even more severely. He saw his lawyer. He stayed at home silently for 2 days. He continued to feel sick. Then he decided to go to hospital. He went through medical examinations, scanning his internal organs, also X-rayed, and he now says, I now have all the medical reports from those examinations. I am Dushanova from Kazlorda town. I am a sister of Dushanov Yerkebulan, who has just spoken about the painful and humiliating experience at the police station. I ask the responsible authorities and President Tokayev, Ministry of Internal Affairs, Turganbayev, Chief Investigator of the Republic of Kazakhstan, Gizat Nurdauletulu, I ask them to investigate this matter thoroughly. I now can let you know about some details of his medical analysis. My brother, there are damages to his lung, liver, kidney, and 4 ribs broken. We ask you for justice in this matter.